Boys are talking biz. Boys are talking biz.
Welcome back. It's the Boys Talk Biz. We back. We're here with the Build-A-Bear. We are here to tell you the news. We have got some crazy new stuff coming up for you guys. We are trying, we're evolving the channel. We are getting ourselves to new places. We're finding new things to do. There's business every day, but, there's only so much two people can do. We got our interns. We got all our people working for us, but, we are here to tell you the news, everything that's great. And today we've got some great topics for you, and at the end of the episode, we're going to announce our new mini-series. So, Madi, I think we're going to start off with, I am very close to finishing Elden Ring. Very, very close. I'm on the second-to-last boss battle. The game is fantastic. I mean, seriously, it's incredible, and if anybody's looking to get into the Dark Souls franchise, I really think that this is a great starting point because the game is so much different than the old ones. Like, the combat is different. There's a lot more things that make it very accessible to, like, a normal person. Like, I could not beat Dark Souls 3 without, like, literally getting my hand held through the entire game because I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. But with this one, I really only got stuck, like, 2 or 3 times, and I'm 60 hours in. Like, that's a long, that's a long time. Yeah, you know what I mean? So, there's so much to do. There's so many areas to explore, so many side things to do. And the boss battles have been incredible. I've been having a blast. Some of it, a little bit bullshit. You know what I mean? But that's the name of the game. The game is supposed to be hard. And I don't know. I think it's a really great game. I'm probably only going to play it once because it took me a long time to beat it, and I just don't feel like going through it again. But, yeah, I'm on the second-to-last boss battle, and it has been amazing so far. Do you plan on getting it, Monty?
Oh, yeah, as soon as I can get a mod where I have unlimited health. Yes, I will be purchasing that right afterwards.
I would say I know you beat Sekiro, so you're a little bit in the series, but Sekiro is very different. It's all about parrying.
All about parrying. All about it. Yeah, it took me like 6 months to beat it. That was not fun. That was really not. I mean, it's a great game. Just the constant. You died, the constant, that message right at the end of your fight, you died for 6 months straight. Yeah, it was a grind. So I will be playing these games with some training wheels, with just I need my hand held.
Yeah, absolutely. And with some games that is just necessary. You know what I mean? Like I don't like the argument that the game like needs an easy mode. Because they designed it to be like this, you know what I mean? It's the same thing with, like, Zelda, you know what I mean? Like, you can't put easy, hard, or, medium on a Zelda game. You just play it, and that's how it is. It's
designed that way.
So, it's designed how it's supposed to be. So, I have no problem with, people wanting to get, like, mods and stuff, you know what I mean, to make it easier. Because, fucking shit, they are hard. Like, oh my goodness. They take forever to beat. So,
these types of games are...
difficult. I mean, they're straight up sadistic, masochistic. I mean, all of the just anything to torture yourself, man. Like, God, some of the boss fights have just been like driving me insane because of that. So, Madi, what's everybody wants to know. Everybody's been wondering, how is the weekly shows going? What's the new updates? Anything cool happening?
Weekly shows. The company, I think it's called Toei. The company who produces One Piece. They were hacked a couple weeks ago by a third party. So all the anime that are produced by that company had to take like a break. So I don't know when One Piece will come back. I don't know if it was like just like a 1 week delay, but there is a small delay because of that. I don't know if the hackers took anything. If they did, Toei hasn't like mentioned it, but all the anime, and I think they have 7 anime right now that they're producing.
Oh, like in rotation? Okay.
Yeah, like at the moment that are coming out weekly, that they all had to have a delay. So,
Man, that sucks.
Yeah,
What about
shit.
the rest of the list? Okay.
Baruto's still shit. Baruto's still garbage. And Attack on Titan is good. Aaron has been not in the episodes for the past 3 weeks, which we do miss his menace, his menacing atmosphere. However,
Yeah.
I don't see how the show ends in 3 episodes. There has to be another part.
Yeah, it's
has to be.
It's
a
supposed
movie
to be
at
the
the end.
finale, right? Like
Yes.
That's what they've been saying. It's the last season, so
It has to be part 2 of 3, or a movie at the end.
Yeah, I would say, I wonder if they're going to do a movie, because if it's the series finale,
Yes.
you know what I mean? That's the show, and then they make a movie to cap off the entire series. That would make sense. The movies honestly makes so much more money.
Yeah,
You know
and
what I mean?
it's a popular thing in the anime right now. Everyone's just producing movies, so I definitely see that. I don't see the show ending in 3 episodes because we haven't even hit the climax of the final event, and there's only a couple episodes left.
Gotcha.
You need at least, I've been hearing from manga people, you need at least 4 episodes of the final act. So there's no way that this is ending in April.
Huh.
So
It's very interesting.
Yeah. I'm noticing between like movies and anime, they don't really tell you if it's a final season. It just kind of happens, right? Like we see with Bleach. Bleach ended in like 2012. However, it came back.
It did.
Fairy Tail's final season was 2019. However, it is coming back this year.
Yep.
So I don't understand why. I mean, I like it. I love Fairy Tail, so I'm glad it's coming back. It's just usually when you say finale right here in the States, it usually means that that's it.
Yeah,
and you won't
like
see it ever again.
New project, you know what I mean? Maybe some spin-offs, but like nothing mainstay.
Yeah, like the story doesn't continue afterwards. Like Fairy Tail has like a whole other arc where the anime ended. So that's why they're animating it. It's like, bro, he said it was over. Like,
that's so weird.
Why are you doing that? And then
any other shows?
No, waiting for I think it's Spy Family that's coming out this upcoming.
Spy Family, dude, I'm so hyped for that show.
It's
like that one's gonna be
soon.
freaking awesome.
Waiting for that sometime in April.
Yeah.
I'll get the notification, right? We'll see it on social media and stuff, but excited to see that. That will be in the weekly binging watches.
Oh, absolutely. That's going to be freaking awesome. And Chainsaw Man is coming out soon. Highly recommend you watch that. That
October,
is going to be
right?
freaking incredible. I think so.
Halloween time.
I think it's later in the year. That one is going to be freaking incredible. I read the whole manga, at least where they're up to. I know there's going to be a new part coming out, so that definitely will mean probably a season 2. It is incredible, so definitely watch that. I've been keeping up with, I'm very close to keeping up and being caught up with the My Hero manga. Oh my God, it just takes a freaking turn, dude. Like, I love, one of my favorite things, I said in the last episode, the sports festival, you had this really like fun, like idea, right? And every single time, without a doubt, if there is something happy happening, 85 people are going to die in freaking 10 chapters. That's how it always goes. And so I'm like deep in the middle of the war arc. Literally the last like 5 chapters of the freaking manga read like Batman, dude. Like Midoriya Midoriya goes like fucking rogue, and he just starts going and like just trying to handle the entire villain menace like by himself. And oh my God, his costume design gets so good because I freaking hated his original mask. But now that they're making him look more edgy, he literally looks like Stain. It is
Let's
so
go.
cool.
The next season comes out this fall.
Yeah,
So
and I can't wait because so once I get caught up, I'm definitely gonna try and catch up with the anime just to see where they're at because I'd love to see how they animate it because there has been some insane stuff going on story wise. The war, I want to say I'm like halfway through. I think I've got like 30 chapters left until I'm caught up.
yeah,
So I don't know if it's going to end or if it's still coming out. I'm really not sure. But I mean, if you get the chance, freaking read the My Hero manga. It is incredible. Wow. I'm blown away by it, because I remember watching the first couple seasons and I was like, oh yeah, this is like a cool shonen. But now
Yeah.
now it's really like taking the story up a freaking notch.
dude, I love to see. I think where it ended in the anime is that what's the main antagonist's name?
Midoriya.
Antagonist.
Antagonist.
Yes, antagonist.
Tomura Shigaraki.
Shigaraki just defeated that is it like the Legion of Villains? It's like a whole city with a bunch of villains.
Liberation.
So now he has a whole army.
Something like
So
that.
we just kind of ended off there. Got the whole origin story of him.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty dark.
It's super dark. And it's really crazy because he is related to All Might's predecessor of the One for All. Like he's her grandson. So there's so much intertwining. There's so much cool story going on, and Midoriya is constantly like in his subconscious, like getting to speak to the previous owners of the One for All,
Yes.
and you're getting so much like cool story. You're seeing like two of the people who had the power were like in an era where like villains ruled the world, and so it was just an absolute hellscape to be in. And you're really getting different perspectives on how much the world has changed in 9 generations. And oh man, it's so good. Besides that, Monty, I know you had a big rant that you wanted to get into today. We were talking about it off stream, and we were checking it out, and kind of maybe had a little bit differing opinions on it. But let's hear your side, and then I don't really know too much about the series, but anyways,
His description, or I'll leave his link in the description, so if people want to go watch that video.
Cool.
I love watching his. He talks everything anime, gets into like best anime of like seasons, right? Like the fall, the winter. Love his stuff. So I'll leave his video, his link in the description below. Awesome stuff. But I've been seeing some news about if you guys haven't heard, but there's an anime that came out this year called Jobless Reincarnation. Another isekai, because that is getting popular, super popular. I mean, how many reincarnation shows are there now? Like 50? Probably.
Oh my god, there's so many now. Like, what was the first one? Like, what would you say was like the one that kind of...
Or the reincarnation anime. Isekai's been out for a hot minute, but...
Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to think of what might have started the trend, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like...
Slime might have been the first big one.
Maybe you could almost include Sword Art Online. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Almost. So
Almost.
maybe it was kind of starting from that because that was very mainstream. A lot of people have seen it. So I wonder if that maybe kind of started the entire shift to being like, okay, instead of like going into a VR world, you literally are entirely transported to another world.
Yeah, and you can be
it's a very cool genre.
An object, a different person. I mean, we're there's so much shit. There's so much shit.
Oh yeah, it's great.
So much shit in this trend. So if you have watched it, let me know what you think about it. But anyway, there is a huge controversy with this show, particularly in the West. Right? Like here in America, here in North America, really. Huge controversy with the show because of the storyline and some of the scenes and stuff that happens within the manga and, of course, the anime. And this YouTuber goes over it. We kind of share the same viewpoint of this. A lot of people in America are trying to cancel this show, trying to get Crunchyroll not to publish the next season and to get rid of the season that is currently out, the first season. One, yes, there's a lot of nudity. Two, the story takes place with the main character. He dies in like his mid-30s in the classic anime, I got ran over by that truck. We've all seen that. Yeah. Classic.
I figured you were going to say bus, because that's also a freaking classic.
Oh, yeah. Get hit by a truck, a bus,
A train.
Anything. Yeah.
Always.
And then you wake up somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Starts off as that. This guy is a 35-year-old virgin. He's an absolute creep. On the verge of being a pedophile. Right? He's that guy that you see working at GameStop in his mid-30s. No offense to those guys working in their mid-30s, but he is definitely in your guys' realm. Just want to point that out there. So he goes into this world, this magical world, and he starts over. He's born, he's a baby, like brand new, but he still has the subconscious and the memory of his previous life, being in his 30s. So this is a story about this guy being an absolute creep, starting over, starting anew, becoming something greater, becoming, growing up and getting the ideals of being a man and like the right things to do and becoming this hero of this world. And there are a lot of scenes that people in America do not like. One, yes, when he is, I believe he's 13 where we left off in the season. And he does have sex with another 13-year-old. Which a lot of people are like, hey, that's a pedophile because he's 35. And it's like, well, no, not really. But anyway, the rant is that a lot of people are like, if you support the show, if you like the show, you support pedophilia. No. That
is a stretch.
That is, yes, because if you like Dragon Ball, for instance, okay, Vegeta tried to blow up the planet, right? Tried to kill a lot of innocent people. If you like Vegeta, if you like Dragon Ball, does that mean that you support, mass murder?
Global terrorism.
Yeah. Does that, that is such a stretch.
Yeah. From my viewpoint personally, it's very much like, it's interesting that the author felt the need to include that in this part of the series. You would think if he is, because obviously he is a 35-year-old, he has, a completely mature and developed, psyche.
Yes. But
the body of a child. You would think that the author would wait until he was like 18 or like 20, because he was also a virgin when he was 35. So like, yes. If he's learning and he's making his past mistakes better, it's almost like, why wouldn't you wait? Like, that's what I haven't seen it, so I don't know the entire context, but that's just outside looking in. Like,
right? Why
would you feel the need to include that? And I'm sure that is why a lot of people in America, the people that want to cancel the show, are like, this show is pro pedophilia, because it's a very interesting way for him to learn
explain
the world.
Yes.
Yeah, it's from just I don't know. I'm always open to accepting a story and accepting its stakes and accepting its viewpoints, but that one would be really, it'd be really tough to win me over as a viewer with that stuff, just because it feels just like weird,
To me, this is a character who, is an absolute creep. So he's just going to do creepy stuff. That's the character that the writer has installed. Here.
Yeah, he that's the terms that they've set up for his personality.
Yes.
That is things that he does, and so he's going to act upon those things, and supposedly farther in the story he's going to change and get better. But it's definitely, for like American audiences, it's definitely it's a shock. It's absolutely a shock. It's very much something that we as like in our entertainment are not used to. like, I remember when I first read Berserk, like, just the amount of murder, violence, and, like, sexual
Gore.
just
Yeah.
disgust. There is so much fucked up shit, you know, and after reading that and kind of seeing a lot more anime, you're like, okay, so this is not normal, but fairly used in the manga verse, the anime verse, you know, like, there is definitely sometimes a focus on the disgusting parts of the world in order to kind of tell the story and show that, you know, stuff can change. But I personally, I don't know, I'd have to watch it, but as a person who writes sometimes, that is just very strange to me. If I was him, honestly, I would have waited until he was like 16. That's still young. Still shouldn't be doing it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he's still technically 35.
Yeah.
But that, I feel, would have made it at least a little less
bit.
pedophile vibes. You know what I mean? Just because you, like, it's very strange, and I don't know. I personally, I'm not going to super get behind it. You know what I mean? I'm sure I'll still end up watching the show someday, but that's just, I don't know. It rubs me the wrong way. It really does. It makes me wonder who the author is. You know what I mean? Like, what is he like? Like, is this dude just a massive incel? Like,
it is a shock. Someone made a point that, well, in medieval times, I mean, people were having sex at 12 and 13. Like, that was just happening. And I was like, you know what? You got me there.
That is true.
I wouldn't put it past, you know, our ancestors.
Oh, no. I mean, technically, like, physically speaking, your body is the most able to reproduce when you are younger because it's much less hard on your body. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I do understand that viewpoint. I do kind of like, yeah, it was normal back then, but he probably lived in modern times. So it's it's just one of those things. It just I don't know. Maybe it's just because it makes me so uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, like for me, yes, it is weird and wrong, but I'm just like, it's a story of a creepy ass dude. He's just gonna do creepy things. Like, is he gonna be not, like, if you establish he's creepy, right? He's this creep, right? This 35-year-old virgin. And then have him in a story where he's not doing those stuff, I would question, well, why would you even make him have this personality then?
Yeah.
Because he's not doing things a 35-year-old creep. Right? Because I can see that here. Even here. I could see a 35-year-old creep doing creepy stuff. Yeah. Like IRL. So why wouldn't he do that in the story?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things I feel like Western culture is not, like, attuned to. You know, they're not...
Yeah, we don't have comic books displaying that thing you were explaining with, like, Berserk. Our comic books, like, you know, like mangas, they don't illustrate that part of storytelling.
No, it's usually much more... I would say... Like, there are definitely some comics, obviously, there's always exceptions where, like, yes, they do get into that stuff, but I feel like in our culture, it's much easier to kind of gloss over it, you know what I mean, and kind of, like, be like, this happened, this is the consequences in the next panel, instead of actually, like, showing it.
Right.
So, I feel the same exact way about, like, sex scenes in movies. I don't think they're
like
necessarily awkward. They're awkward, they're weird, in my opinion... All you have to do is have two people that are kissing or whatever. They lay down. You know what happens. You know what I mean? You don't need to show the actors getting naked. Like, that's so uncomfortable for everyone involved in the production. It is so uncomfortable for the two actors. Like, in my opinion, I just think it's useless. I think it's bad storytelling just to use shock value and nudity to get views, basically. Kind of like what Game of Thrones had to do the first couple of seasons. There's fucking nudity everywhere. Because that's what people want. You know what I mean? That's what people want to see, fucking naked people on screen. And to me, that just doesn't make any sense.
Just having it, yeah. I mean, we didn't want to see Edward and Bella. Come on. I mean. I wanted to see. I'm just upset they never had the Edward Jacob sex scene. Like, come on, we should have just had
full vampire, werewolf, absolute carnage, just wrecking each other's buttholes. Like, it
I
should
walked
have
out the
been
theater.
there.
I walked out.
Yeah, where was it?
I want my refund
yeah.
still, 12 years later.
Yeah, but that the controversy, it's definitely interesting because it's something that, because of the cancel culture world that we live in, it's very much like you have these gray areas where you're like, okay, this isn't a person doing these things. This is an author trying to tell a story, and the story's not finished. You know what I mean? So you don't get to see the entire picture yet. I'm sure he has a plan. I'm sure he has it all planned out. But when you're going through the process of understanding the story and understanding everything that's happening, it's very difficult to see that other side because of the just, I guess, uncomfortability, the shock value of it, and it's just very hard for me to get behind like his stuff as an author. And I understand, he is a creep and stuff, but I don't know. I just would have written it differently. But that's just me,
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna put that video that Jiguk made. We're gonna put in the description if you guys want to watch it. See if you agree with him. See if you don't agree with him.
Or if you want to watch the show, so you could see it.
See it in context. Get your own opinions. Kind of understand, what all it is and what the story is. I have to watch it personally, so I obviously don't have the full view. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting controversy that is happening, especially with a lot of storytelling right now. There's a lot of things that I feel like are slowly becoming like taboo to write about because of this. You know what I mean? Like it's very difficult to get your message across if it comes off as something that is very taboo against society, like pedophilia. Like it's a rough thing to go through. It's a rough thing to, because I listen to a lot of podcasts about like serial killers and like violent like sexual sadists and things like that, and that it's always about like horrible constant child abuse and head injuries when you're a child and all of these things. So maybe if he included more of that stuff, obviously I haven't seen it, so I don't know, but maybe if he included more of that stuff, there might be a little more justification. I don't know. I'm still not behind it. I still don't necessarily enjoy that like form of how he did it, but yeah, I'm always open. You know what I mean? I'm always open to read a story, always open to get the full picture. So.
Does that deter you from like other shows? 'Cause, I mean, this isn't the first show to do stuff like this. Definitely not the first show.
Oh, absolutely not. No. Yes and no. Like, there is a lot of shows where, I'm like reading it or I'm watching it and I'm just like, why? You know what I mean? Like, I just don't understand how the author thought, yeah, this is the perfect place to put something like this. Like, I don't know. I truly think it's just a difference in culture. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, a lot of the people that make this Japanese, their culture is very different than ours.
Their humor is different.
Very different. Very different.
We can even see this from a long time. Like, I've showed you and the boys, like, in the first Dragon Ball series, where, like, Goku has that scene with Bulma. Like, yeah. To us, that's like, oh, whoa. But
yeah, like, what the fuck?
Japan, that's humorous. Like, that's a funny scene. That's their comedy.
Sure. Yeah, it's just one of those things, you kind of have to, I don't know. It's just weird. It's a weird gray area, Yeah. Oh, we are introducing one of our new segments. This segment is going to be called Dummy of the Week. We are starting, it doesn't matter what show, doesn't matter what time period. We are just picking moments in shows that really just made us go like, what? Like, why did you do that? Like, what? That was the stupidest shit I've ever seen. So, Marty, would you like to start with our very first Dummy of the Week?
Yes, and if I can get the scenes without, copyright stuff, I'll put them up in the video.
Okay.
But my first dummy of the week has to be when Sakura made fun of an orphan in front of another damn orphan. That was the dumbest thing I've ever seen her do.
Sakura has some really rough moments in the show, man. I mean, I don't know what Kishimoto had against her, but he takes every opportunity he can to straight dab on her. Even when she becomes like a powerful, very useful resource to the Ninja War, like
Yes.
she still is just constantly getting plot written out. You know what I mean? Like oh god, there's literally so many points in the show you could just take her and be like, she could be dummy of the goddamn year. Like
honestly,
it's pretty rough.
But
yeah, would you like to explain the
Yes.
scene?
So this was in OG Naruto first season. This is when Sasuke, was contemplating about he was on his way to go into Orochimaru. He was on his way, and Sakura went on this whole crying monologue rant. Or no, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of something complete. See, there's so many different moments.
There's so many moments!
I thought of a completely different moment. Anyway, so this was in early OG Naruto. This when Sakura had long hair. She didn't cut off the hair yet. And so Naruto's off. I forgot what he was doing. He just wasn't there. He was late. He's probably sleeping in.
Classic.
He was late they were about to go on a mission. He was late. Sasuke and Sakura were both at the rendezvous spot, and Sakura's like, where's that Naruto? If Naruto had parents, he would be better disciplined. With knowing the history of the Uchiha, that Sasuke is one of two left. And what happened there? Saying if he had parents like mine, that he would be better disciplined in front of a man who came to his house at the age of 5 or 6?
Yeah.
And see his brother standing over with a blade, with his parents both dead on the floor, blood splattered everywhere.
Everywhere.
Oh,
God.
You make fun of an orphan in front of that dude who clearly has issues, right? Because in OG Naruto, he makes references to that. PTSD, he's only driven by killing a certain someone.
Yeah, hatred to deal and cope with his massive trauma. God, that's one thing that blows my mind about shows like this is people just die all the time. It's basically your job also to kill people.
Yes.
It is a freaking insane world to live in. So Sakura, that is just one of the most brain dead, horrible things you could have said in that moment. Just truly not thinking about what you were saying. That is so rough. Oh my goodness.
Woo!
But yeah, that she is horrible. But yeah, that's Marty's dummy of the week. My dummy of the week is, I kind of had to rack my brain. There's a lot. There's so many you could pick from. So it's what's a good one to start off with? One of the absolute dumbest things I've ever seen in a show is when the One Piece crew, they're going through their story, they're getting their thing, they have the Going Merry. That's their first ship. They've had it for a long time. Usopp is very emotionally connected to the ship.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Honestly, R.I.P. Going Merry. It was such a pivotal and important part to the story for so long, and it was also made by one of Usopp's only childhood friends. It was that rich girl, her family, and the butler. Basically, the head was kind of made after him. So he has such a tight emotional bond to this ship, and the ship is basically, I believe this is that's when they go get Frankie.
Yeah, that had to have been when they met Frankie, that arc.
Yeah, and so, because he builds the next ship. The ship is kind of getting trashed on, it's not really doing well, and so all of the crew basically is okay, we need to get rid of the ship. And Usopp says, no, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that at all. And this makes Luffy so mad. And Usopp, dummy of the frickin' week, thinks that he can fight Luffy. That is the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Bro.
And Luffy trashes him. Good
Bruh.
God, he trashed him so hard. And to me, I don't care. I don't care how much you love the ship. I don't care how much you like this thing. You know, know it has an important emotional bond to you, but you, a man who does not have a devil fruit power, is trying to fight the man who was going to be the pirate king.
With a slingshot.
With a freaking slingshot.
He whipped that out in the fight.
He did, and he doesn't even have hockey yet. He is by far one of the worst crew members at this point. He
still is.
I don't even. I mean, truly, he's always going to be weak, but it's just, oh man, it was such a dumbass move, and the fact that he even thought that he was gonna like do that, and I know he was trying to, I'm gonna stand my ground. This is what I believe in, but like, dude, you are a part of a crew, and if you get outvoted, sorry, bro, that's freaking democracy right there. Like, that's just how, you know what I mean? You can't. Just, the ship was falling the fuck apart. You know what I mean? Like, there is no reason to keep it going.
It was busted.
I don't know. It was dumb. It was dumb. Dummy of the week right there. Big dummy of the week. Him and Sakura take the first weekly throne. It
King
is
and Queen. Dummy of
King
the
and Queen.
week.
Absolutely. King and Queen of straight dumbasses of shonen. And look at this every week. We're gonna try and find dumbass moments from each
It won't be hard.
and manga. No, it's not gonna be hard at all. I mean, there's so many. There's endless amounts. I know. I'm freaking pumped about it, dude. The Boys Talk Biz are officially going to do our first and hopefully very continuous deep dive series. We are going to be doing a series called Two Sides of the Same Story. I'm going to read the manga, Madi is going to watch the anime, and we are going to basically deep dive the show, do some research on what the inspiration was, things like that, things about the author, get our two sides and compare them and see what the differences are and what kind of, where they kind of go their separate ways. You know, there's a lot of times that anime strays away from the manga. There's a lot of times that there's just some very different like ways that they go about things. So I'm super excited about it. Our first series that we are going to deep dive, it's a short one. It is Dress Up Darling, right? I believe that's what it's called.
Yeah, Dress Up Darling.
Okay, yeah, we're going to be doing Dress Up Darling. It is huge right now.
It just came out with the first series. The first season.
First season just came out, and it's already like #1 on all the anime pages, competing with Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer. So we're going to see what's up. We want to know what makes this show so hype. And, you know, Marty and I have watched a million different types of shows. So there's always, you know, we've got a great basis for, you know, what makes story good and what, you know, what attracts like us as viewers. So we're going to take that experience and we're going to form it into a deep dive explanation and just kind of a comparison series for you guys. So we're super excited about it. Tune in next week. And, yeah, I think that's it for this week, man. So watch our mini series, Two Sides of the Same Story, Dress Up Darling. Follow us on Twitter, on TikTok, on Instagram, all that good stuff. Shoot us an email if you want, boystalkbiz@gmail.com. If you guys want us to do any other any other ideas, if there are any shows you want us to deep dive, we're always looking for recommendations. We're always looking for more stuff to do. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next week. Dress up a darling time.
Peace.
Peace out.